Hi, in this video we are discussing about architectures to deploy Oracle applications on Azure. As we all well aware about, Oracle applications are made up with multiple services which can be hosted on the same or multiple virtual machines in Azure and as well as optional in ACI. In reference to the application instances, can be set up with some private or public endpoints where Microsoft and Oracle recommended setting up a Bastion host VM with a public IP address in a separate subnet for management of applications. When assigned to the private IP addresses to the other machines, including the database types, when we are setting up an application in a crossed cloud architectures, planning is required to ensure that IP address space in the Azure virtual machine IP address does not overlap the private IP address space in OCI virtual cloud. For added security, set up network security groups at a subnet level to ensure only traffic on specific ports and IP addresses is permitted. For example, machines in the middle tier should only receive traffic from the virtual network. No external traffic should reach the middle tier machines directly. For high availability, you can set up an redundant instances of the different servers in the same availability. Set or different available zones. Available zones allow you to achieve a 99% uptime SLA, while availability setup allows you to achieve 99.95% uptime. SLA in a region sample architecture shows major focusings on the deployments across two available sources. When deploying an application using the cross-cloud interconnect, you may also continue to use the existing express route circuit to connect the Azure environment to our premises networks. However, we need to have a separate express route circuit for the interconnect to the OCI than the on-connect to your on-premise network. As the diagram explains, if you talk about this e-business suite cross-cultural cross-cloud architecture, wherein this Oracle e-business suite is a suite of applications including supply chain management and customer relationship management. To take an advantage of OCI's managed database portfolios, EBS can be deployed using cross-cloud interconnect between Microsoft Azure and OCI. In this configuration, the presentation of application tiers run in Azure and the database tiers on OCI. In this architecture, the virtual network in Azure is connected to a virtual cloud network in OCI using the cross-cloud interconnect. The application tier is all set up in Azure, whereas the database is set up with OCIs. It is recommended to deploy each component to its own subnet with network security groups to allow traffic only from the specific subnets on specific ports. Now, when you talk about the e-business suite Azure only architecture, where this architecture can also adapted for deployment entirely on Azure with high availability of Oracle databases, which are configured using Oracle Data Guard in two available zones in a region based on the kind of example, what is that we are showing on the architectural pattern. Now, when we talk about the JD Edwards Enterprise on-cross cloud architecture, Oracle's JD Edwards Enterprise 1 is an integrated application suite of comprehensive enterprise resources planning software. It is a multi-tied application that can be set up with either an Oracle or a SQL Server database backend. It discusses details on the deploying JD Edwards Enterprise 1 with an Oracle database backend either in the OCI or in the Azure. If you see that administration and presentation on the middle tier are deployed to the virtual network in Azure, the databases are deployed in a virtual cloud network in OCI. As a business e-business suite, as with e-business suite, you can also set up an optional Bastion's tier for secure administrative purposes. Use the Bastion VM host as a gem server to access the applications and database instances. In this architecture, the virtual network in Azure is connected to the virtual cloud network in OCI using the cross-cloud interconnect. The application tier is set up in Azure, whereas this database is set up in OCI. It is recommended to deploy each deployment to its own subnet with network security groups to allow traffic only from specific subnet on specific ports. The architecture can also be adapted from deployment entirely on Azure with high availability. At the same time, Oracle database is configured using Oracle Data Guard in two available zones in a region wherein the most of its kind. So these are the general understanding wherein if you want to know about the clear understanding about architecture's point of view to deploy Oracle applications on Azure is all that stuff. For more information, please reach out to the contact details. which will be given in the posted in the below video. Thank you.